Almost immediately, I catch the acrid stench of burning oil. That's not good. Starting to question, was I dumb to pull this car out of somebody's yard and throw some plates on it? The smoke out the edge of the hood. Oh, I hope I'm not in trouble. It's throwing some kind of fluid up here too. This car looks like $1 million because it is that, or more. A couple years ago, I found this 1977 Chevy Caprice coupe in a field next to a guy's house. First glance, I almost thought it was dark blue just because the paint was so oxidized. You could tell this thing had been sitting around a while. I was interested enough in the car to stop and ask about it. Had the perfect color combination, black with a black vinyl roof and a red interior. It was a time capsule car that his parents had bought from the original owner, who made them promise that they wouldn't drive it on a dirt road. When the second of his parents passed on, the car was willed to him. He told me what he wanted, and I had to save up for a while to be able to get this car. Since this was an estate car and the original title had been lost, and since they bought it during COVID when there were different tag office policies, I had quite a bit of an uphill climb to finally get this thing titled. There were a few things that were just situational comedy of errors that extended it all out, but I finally got it back, got it registered, and it didn't seem to be too bad mechanically. This car was just at the brink, cosmetically also, where I could just save it and bring it back. Its maiden voyage was to the hardware store to cut an extra set of keys for it. The paint on this car was looking really tired, but I like things original, and I decided to give it a shot to try and buff it out and save it. A friend of mine recommended me a detailer that he liked, and on one of these black cars you really have to be careful. If you get swirl marks in them, it's really hard to redo it. You can see the oxidation. This thing's getting pretty weathered. Even on the trunk lid, there's little places where the paint's cracked and coming open all over the whole lid. So I know it's not going to be perfect, but we'll send it off, see what the detailer can do. Tires were getting fairly old, about 2003 date codes, so it was on the list to need to get them changed out as well. I did spring for the personalized license plate. If you get the reference, comment below. These are some quick before shots. Show the condition of the car as it is, on its way to the detailer. Inside, it has a beautiful carmine red interior, very well cared for. Crank windows are a very desirable configuration to me. I just don't like power in general. The dash cap does have a few cracks in it, pretty typical of a vehicle of this age, but it's not horrible. 86,000 original mile car. Everything on the dash works. All the lights, all the gauges. Red is the least UV stable color, so it is the most prone to fading, but everything I think is preserved pretty well here. I'm torn what to do about these seat covers. They're just shrinking, pulling the upholstery in, and they're cracked, so pretty sure I'm going to end up removing them just because I don't want them to do damage to the upholstery. I searched on eBay and everywhere else for a replacement for the cracked passenger marker light, but was unable to find anything. So the solution was to hunt the junkyards, and I found this entire front clip, which had this correct 1 year only part. Once this car is detailed out, it can't go back in the weather to oxidize up again, so it will need to have a place made for it for inside storage. So, 78 Cutlass, looks like you're getting evicted. 1 week later, the Caprice is back from the detailer, and wow, what an amazing transformation. You almost wouldn't even believe it's the same car. It's running great, tagged, and insured. So, we're going to take it to a local cruise-in, and if it does great there, well, we'll take it a little further to the $1 Million Car Show at McPherson College, an hour away from home. This 77 Caprice was pretty much my dream car. It's a coupe, it's the first year of production, and it's black. It's got a red interior, so that pops pretty nice. And basically pulled this thing out of a field, and we're taking it for a cruise and see what happens. So here we are on our way, and she's driving pretty good, really smooth. I'm honestly surprised, for as long as it sat, that the tires aren't flat spotted and thumping. They do have some age and weathering on the outside, but I think just for the era that they're from, they're new enough. I think that carcass still should be in pretty good shape. Surprises me, pretty much everything works on this car. The temp gauge works, she's running nice and cool. Speedometer works, I think it's reading a little high. Gas gauge works. Fuel economy gauge works. You can punch it and see it go down. Psychologically, having the paint buffed on this car has really advanced getting it moving along. I picked up that car, dropped it off at the detailer, and he just assumed it was dark blue because it was so chalked. And we've gotten a good gloss back. I was fully expecting the trunk was gonna have some cracking and crazing that you're just not gonna be able to get out, but it is what it is. It's the original paint for the car, and just want to preserve what's there. It actually drives really straight and true, which is good because I can steer with one finger and not get the other four sticky. Power antenna does not work. I just heard the ribbon kind of grinding on the gear, so those old plastic ribbons probably has a worn spot. I believe there are guys that rebuild those, and guy can ship them off and get it renewed and back to where it needs to be. Radio works. We're obviously taking the interstate because that way there will be more passing vehicles that can interpret our distress signals with the hood up, broke down on the side of the road as, "Get this man some help." All these drivers in their late model cars must have so many questions. Doesn't he know the warranty's expired? Doesn't he know that there's no aerodynamics in that brick-shaped car? Who would keep something old like that? So I flipped on the vent, and blower fan's working great, but almost immediately I catch the acrid stench of burning oil. So that's not good. We're gonna pull it over, check it out, see what we got going on. Starting to question, was I dumb to pull this car out of somebody's yard and throw some plates on it and just take it on an hour-long cruise from home? I don't know. See a little bit of wisp of smoke out the edge of the hood. Oh, I hope I'm not in trouble. Woo, she's smoky. I'm gonna say this is valve cover gaskets. So on the scale of 1 to 10 of severity, probably a 1. You can see it's really been spitting oil out though. It's starting to coat the heater box and the inner fender. Definitely have to keep an eye on it. Definitely need to put a set of valve cover gaskets on this when I get it home. It's throwing some kind of fluid up here too. Looks almost like that water pump's leaking. Notice that radiator's a little wet too. And the closer I look, there's just a little hairline crack in that neck. So that's not good. I'm hoping this will make it. We'll see. So I started it back up and coolant gauge is well within the range, running cool. So we're gonna limp this thing to the show field, and I do have a jug of water along, and we'll get it filled up back up to the top and just keep an eye on that gauge. And I think it's gonna stay cool enough to get us there and get us home. Definitely have to add valve cover gaskets to the list. There'll be some maintenance, I'm sure, to catch up on this car once we get it back home. I just hope it's on its 4 wheels and not on the back of a tow truck. I don't usually do car show videos because it's not really the core of what you guys look at, but there's gonna be some incredible $1-million cars here, and I think if you guys are tired of seeing rusty old barn finds, this will be a nice change. And there's gonna be some stuff here that you're really gonna like to see. And we have made it. The alma mater, McPherson College. Graduated from here in 2008. Some ways it seems like a long time ago, and some ways it kind of doesn't. There's quite a lineup. Ooh, that burning oil smells bad.
Ooh, what is that smell?
That's burning oil. Hey! So we've got the late 70s General Motors class reunion. All price points and trim levels, Caprice, Nova, El Camino, all the way up to the Corvette.
Your diet didn't set there for years and your wife wouldn't do nothing.
Dang it. So, yeah, $700. So I had small box at 4 speed. And so I was in the McDonald's drive-thru and I put like maybe 25 miles on the small box. And I'm sitting there and I look over this old man. So he just sold to this dealer and this single sprinter's just there. And I flew in and drove back. Yeah, that's so cool. I thought about bringing it. Yeah. You went,
appreciate that. Just weird things can happen, you know.
He had one of them. His wife.
I heard. That's what I heard.
Take them up to the senior center almost every morning for coffee.
Okay.
I need to know where that is. I know the feeling.
All those are specific to this car. Now some of those modified
Not just what you were telling me. You did pre-stretch all of it.
No, not on this one because it's so crap. You're in this place section on afterwards. And Casey at the shop actually built the because you have these guys that are going so close to the breaker and you sneak this down so you can shrink a little bit at just edges. And as long as it's patterned to compensate for that moving right here and moving right here, then you can come trim it after the fact without having to like pre-stretch all this stuff.
You see the hundreds of people running for
Jetsons are here.
Hey, buddy.
Those people running.
About it for updating. Yeah. Just enough to keep it so that it's safe.
Amazing cars here this year. Some that you should be checking out in specifically are the 1988 Porsche 959 brought by Bill Sino, the 1992 Ferrari F40 bought by Tom Frick Sr., the oldest of our spotlight cars, the 1910 Peerless Model 27 brought by Bob Lederer, the 1937 Cord 812, which was worked on by students and owned by Don Beck. Please also make sure to check out Matt Mahan's automotive photography installment, which is located in the house building, and he's going to be doing that at 1 o'clock, which is about 3 minutes. So check that out.
As soon as we're ready, we're going to kick off Spain.
I was about to say that, yeah. We could see everyone was just
literally like
going that way. Yeah, right.
That'd be pretty cool. All it does How's it going, Tim?
Floating along.
grandma part, right?
I've always liked the way
This car looks like $1 million bucks, because it is that, or more. This is the 1951 LeSabre concept car. Lot of 50s styling touches came out of this design study to be used on other later 50s GM cars. Big thank you to General Motors for making it possible for that one to come down and be displayed.
Because Pebble Beach is the site of one of the world's greatest competitions for historical.
And it was a lyric. Got out. It was so so you can't buy it. You use the battery. Well, they just made that.
Just made it recently.
What's the deal with these? Everybody can try them.
I don't know. They have a registration
Cooper probably wondered what I was doing on the xylophone over there while he was trying to play. I happened to catch out of the corner of my eye that one of our wheels was that close to falling off, Cooper. So sometimes these bricks jiggle those wheels out. And we got
What's that called?
Another round of applause for Ethan, Joseph on the trumpet solo, and Nathan Addis over there doing some incredible work on drums.
Ready yet?
Come back in about 20 minutes.
Thank you very much. Enjoy. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Of course. Thank you.
It's good.
I need to go to Mexico and get some of them illegal stem cells. Tractor.
This way, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah, did have to do an oil change on it. They were cranking on it a lot without it hooked up,
Yeah.
and they drowned the crankcase in gasoline.
Yeah. So, driven to the college under its own power for show day. What do you know?
Harvey wants to try to sneak it on the show field for shits and grins.
Small pump that sends that oil up to your drippers. So these are just needles and seats. You adjust them to set your drips per minute. You're looking for about...
Oh my God.
So when you're at cruising speed, you're looking at about 4 drips per minute from each oiler. That oil is then sent down to secondary pumps that distribute it to the motor. And it's more or less total loss. Whatever goes in ultimately ends up on the ground. So it holds some in the crankcase, enough for the rods to be lubricated, but yeah. 4-cylinder.
Double spark plug.
Yep. Dual ignition, because one ignition is for starting, the other is for running.
Oh my God.
Small tank. We have about a 10-gallon tank, which on a motor that's 450-ish cubic inches. But it tours. So after this is going to California for a 2,000-mile Southern California to Utah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it'll drive itself. I'll trailer it there, but then they have a planned route that the car will take.
My God. So it's not so much miles per gallon on. It's got to be that.
Sorry.
Please stay in the picture. That's awesome.
So, brass cars are unique because they're so cheap. Yeah. So the market kind of like jewelry is what someone's willing to pay. Yeah. This car is probably in the neighborhood of 3/4 to when the engine's cold right now, but when it's hot, it'll idle much more. This is a relatively high idle for it right now. So see the 2 oilers?
Yeah.
Just watch it drip away.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
So all that's doing is regulating the amount that the motor gets. And right now I have it.
You can adjust it. I think.
Yeah, I have it. So you just turn these guys down to set your drips. I have it over oiled because why not? It's better for the motor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh my God.
cars were all kind of treated the same back then. They didn't really have any sort of regulation in place for the automobile. It's such a new thing. So they just kind of figured, well, give it the same registration as a bicycle and you're fine.
Okay, and the year on this? 1910. Oh my gosh, 1910. Oh, God, yes. Okay, I said no more pictures. I lied. I lied. Practice for the concert. This is so wild. Practicing. Oh, Lord. The concept car? That's the one switch. Yeah, they had to turn it on, and like I walked past it, it was hot, but
Oil bath there.
This one's going to change anything. We'll get it cruise, which is
It's 4,545.
Oh yeah, and they needed every bit of it. Yeah, and he said the only thing that gave him trouble on it was belts and air conditioning.
Model T builds and award ceremony starting in 10 minutes at Harmony Garden.
75 mile an hour and the buzzer. That's funny. Late night when we were going home, we heard that buzzer. Trying to make up time. Yeah. But back then, you know, there was no speed limit after dark. Yeah, no. It didn't exist. It's funny. Only if the police were watching.
So we're out at the after show barbecue, and I parked on the lawn and noticed the tire looking a little frowny on the back. So I borrowed the jack from the house owner, and we are gonna see about running to the sheds to find us a 4 3/4 spare. So we're out here at the sheds where the students keep their project cars, and we are gonna beg for a 4 3/4 spare. Somebody's gotta have one in here. Hey, I've drawn a bit of a bad luck card. I've got a flat on the Caprice. Could I borrow the wagon spare to get home?
Take your pick.
Okay. Yeah, you showed me that one there that's off, so.
I just fell asleep in the Fury back there.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I borrowed a pickup and acquired a tire, and I am back on the way. With a little bit of help, we are fixing our 77 with some 55 parts. Special thanks to the SAE for continuous uninterrupted bolt patterns. All right, so we are back home. No issues coming home. Mileage is now logged at 86,804. So we're just under 87,000 miles. Definitely need to do some maintenance work on this car. I just got it back from the detailer. I really wanted to make the show. You can see all that oil smoke. Definitely gonna need some work. The old Goodyear from the year 2000 off the 55 Chevy that you can't see in the dark made it just fine. The others, they've got some age on them, so a lot of maintenance overdue on this one, but it made the trip.